you told me when I was a little girl, this is gonna hurt me a lot worse than it hurts you.
Get her!
That's Linda McMahon. She's the head of the government agency that helps small businesses in the Trump administration.
Nice talking to you, Mom.
What is wrong with this family?
Linda was born in 1948 to two conservative, devout Baptists in New Bern, North Carolina. It didn't take long for her to meet the man she would one day marry, WWE mastermind Vince McMahon. The two met when Linda was only 13 and Vince 16.
That guy is kind of cute.
Shortly after the two graduated from nearby high schools, they married when Linda was just 17.
You read my lips. I want a divorce.
After she graduated from East Carolina University, Linda had their first baby and was working as a receptionist at Covington & Burling, a major law firm, where she translated French documents and learned a great deal about intellectual property rights. Struggling to make ends meet, Linda and Vince filed for bankruptcy in 1976.
The business venture that Vince and I created is very successful, but that's not always been the case. There was a time in our lives that we had to declare bankruptcy.
After briefly receiving food stamps, Vince took a 90-hour-a-week job at a quarry. But 3 years of hard work later, the family was on their feet and in the ring. Vince started his own wrestling company by 1979 and founded Titan Sports in 1980. After a few mergers and acquisitions of smaller wrestling groups, the McMahons founded the World Wrestling Federation. Linda became president in 93 and CEO by 97. Business was booming, and the extent to which Linda went for her art appeared to have no bounds. That was bad, but things got worse. After Linda stepped down from her duties with the WWE, she ran an unsuccessful 2010 Senate run. She was asked about the massive amount of lobbying money her family had poured into Washington.
Now, what are you going to do when you go to Washington? Are you really going to represent the people?
First of all, I'd like to ask you to clarify something for me. I'm not sure about what money has been paid for special interests. Could you clarify that for me?
Haven't you made over $1 million in contributions?
In terms of lobbying dollars in Washington, I've not spent lobbying dollars in Washington.
However, a report revealed that between 1999 and 2009, the WWE spent at least $1 million on federal lobbying, a chunk of which was paid to lobbyists at K&L Gates to help the company navigate a congressional investigation of steroid use in sports, an issue that was also brought up during her run. Linda was accused of tipping off a ringside physician about a steroid investigation. Hulk Hogan himself testified to Congress that up to 80% of wrestlers used steroids in the 1980s.
The Hulkster in this garden has got a 32-inch neck, a 64-inch chest, the largest arms in the world. And I'm here to seek and destroy.
The steroid epidemic in the WWE allegedly caused Eddie Guerrero's death and Chris Benoit's murderous rampage on his family. And McMahon tried to cover it all up. In a 1989 memo, she fired and warned one of the WWE's ringside physicians about a looming Justice Department investigation, giving the physician ample notice to destroy all evidence, which he did.
Even though she's heavily medicated, she can hear and see everything.
And so could a congressional committee. By 2007, after Chris Benoit's murderous rampage, leaving steroids behind at the scene, blew the looming issue wide open. The committee said the WWE had not taken adequate steps to address steroid use in its ranks. A report uncovered that out of the 75 wrestlers, 40% tested positive for drug use, mostly steroids. Both Vince and Linda testified. And after pouring $50 million from her own pocket into the campaign, breaking Connecticut state records for out-of-pocket spending, she still lost.
Linda McMahon.
She ran again for Senate in 2012 and lost once again.
It's okay. No, I'm really fine. I'm honestly, I'm fine.
I'll take this.
During the 2016 campaign cycle, she gave nearly $6 million to a super PAC backing Trump, once again hoping to buy her way into a seat. And this time it paid off. This won't be the first time the two have worked together.
On Monday Night Raw, he's still here! And Mr. Trump not coming alone.
But she doesn't work directly with the president. She works a few blocks away, apparently too far away to peg the president.
You spend time in the White House with the president. What is he actually like? Because from our perspective, things seem pretty crazy right now.
Well, I'm not actually in the White House all that often. SBA headquarters are, several blocks away from the White House, and that's where I'm really focused.
After securing her spot in the Small Business Administration with a vote of 81 to 19, she was sworn in. And under McMahon, small business confidence is actually at a record high. Considering President Trump had a decades-long history of stiffing small businesses who worked on his projects, maybe a wrestling, steroid-pushing woman from North Carolina was just what he needed to fix things.